Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome into Duval Daily presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLuga. Thanks so much for being here. Tuesday, September 23rd. Right now, we are talking Travis Hunter. Ever heard of him? Jaguars, second overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Traded up from 5 to 2 to get him. He's playing both sides of the ball for the Jaguars at wide receiver and corner. Is he playing well? That's what we're talking about right now through 3 weeks, obviously very early in his career, but we're going to talk about how he's playing on offense, defense, how the Jaguars are utilizing him, all that good stuff right here, right now. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. You can also check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear, help support the channel, look good while doing it. So, is Travis Hunter playing well? For one, before we get into is he playing well? There are so many national stories, narratives, fantasy football people, big outlets, just talking so much about Travis. And look, people are going to talk about Travis Hunter. There's no question about that. He's the most polarizing, biggest name figure the Jaguars have ever drafted, including Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. But people are like having referendums on like, oh, why hasn't he made splashier plays? And then of course all the fantasy football folks are like, oh, why are the Jaguars playing him at corner? What is happening has always been the plan, and he's playing on both sides of the ball a good bit right now, and it's been 3 weeks. And to try to extrapolate what has happened over 3 weeks, even to an entire rookie season, is crazy. So it's a work in progress. It is incomplete. I mean, you're not even a quarter of a way through the season. So all the folks, I mean, I've seen people saying Travis Hunter isn't paying off for the Jaguars yet. It's been 3 weeks. You don't judge a player based on the first 3 weeks of their career. That's not the story. So all that type of stuff where it's like burying the Jaguars for taking him, burying the Jaguars for the usage, all that stuff, I think it's crazy. I really do. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, again, before we're talking about offense or defense, I like his effort on the field. I really liked it against the Texans. He was out there for multiple special teams plays, punt return, the one where it was actually a returnable punt or a punt where a fieldable punt, I should say. He was doing a good job fighting with the gunner. I liked that. I like the way he is coming downhill and filling against the run on defense. I like the effort he's giving. I like the energy he has out there on the field. So that's one of the biggest things when you talk about somebody playing as many plays as he is. How is the effort? And I think it's really good. Very encouraging. He's never going to be the biggest or strongest guy out there. That's not his game. But playing with effort is part of his game. You saw it at Colorado, and I think you're seeing it now in Jacksonville. That's cool to see. We'll start on the offensive side of the ball. His first game of his career is where he spent the most on off. Like, that's where he had the biggest discrepancy between offense and defense. He was primarily an offensive player in his first game. He played like 6 defensive snaps, something like that. They're still basically wanting to limit him to 11 personnel slot receiver. 11 personnel is 3 wide receivers on the field, 1 tight end, 1 running back. They're mostly utilizing him in that regard still, and they're mostly using him as a slot receiver, somebody who they can move around the formation, do different things with. He was not targeted a whole lot in this last game against the Texans. Now, the usage might have to change a little bit depending on what happens with De'Ami Brown. He's dealing with, it looks like, a shoulder. He got hit pretty hard by Azeez Al-Shaair. No, it was not a dirty hit. It was not an illegal hit. It was just a good hit by Azeez Al-Shaair, unlike what he did last year to Trevor Lawrence. So we don't know yet. We should have an update on De'Ami Brown tomorrow to see what's going on with that shoulder, to see if he's going to miss time, whatever it may be. Even if De'Ami Brown does miss time, it's possible his Travis Hunter's usage in terms of the way he's aligning doesn't change a whole lot, and they get more of more of Parker Washington and Tim Patrick out there. And Tim Patrick got his first catch as a Jaguar the other day, so shout out to him for getting that catch. That was nice. But I do think they need to get him more involved on offense down the field. And it's not to say they haven't tried at all. I mean, there was the deep over in week 1 where if that ball's out in front of him a little bit more, it's probably a touchdown for Travis Hunter. Instead, J.C. Horn picked it off. There's also the play in week 2 where Trevor Lawrence is getting clobbered by Trey Hendrickson and doesn't get enough on it, and it's intercepted. And, Travis Hunter probably would have scored on that touchdown. That wasn't like a deep throw or anything, but just another example of like a big play that was there that was left on the field that Travis Hunter didn't really get the opportunity to make. But I do think even with those 2 plays and how often he was utilized offensively in week 1 and 2, they need to get him more down the field. He's good on digs. He is good at changing directions. He is really good at deep overs, in my opinion. I think he could run a slot fade really well. I think there's just more. I think you'll see that moving forward. But again, it's like they're trying to make sure they're managing it properly and not overloading him and not putting too much on him, because if you do that, you can short circuit things. It can make things very difficult. So they're being very disciplined, in my opinion, with the way they're handling him offensively. And as I say, they need to get him the ball more deeper down the field and all these things. It's not just him that is it's not just Travis Hunter that I feel like they're struggling to utilize properly. This entire passing offense is not operating well enough. The coaching, I don't think, has been as on point pass game wise as you would hope, especially not against the Texans. Texans have a great pass defense, even without Derek Stingley for some of the game. Great pass defense. They're very, very good. They have a disruptive defensive front. They're good at the linebacker level, especially Azeez Al-Shaair, and they got a lot of good players on the back end. And they're physical, they're aggressive, all that stuff. So it wasn't good enough passing game wise against the Texans for sure. And it really just, there's been too many miscues in general. But the coaching, I think, can do a better job to utilize these players. The quarterback can do a better job, certainly with his timing and with his consistency, with his accuracy. I think the receivers need to do a better job. Even Travis Hunter has dropped a couple passes. Brian Thomas Jr. has dropped a bunch of passes. De'Ami Brown has dropped some passes, dropped an easy touchdown that would have won them the game in week 2. Left tackle's not doing a good enough job in pass protection. Right guard's not doing a good enough job in pass protection. It's on everyone right now with this passing game. But guess what? It's early. There's a lot of room to improve, a lot of time to improve. And I do think Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski are the coaches offensively that can get them to, get the trajectory pointing upwards a little bit more. I believe that. I really do. I think Travis Hunter is doing a pretty good job with what he's been asked to do so far. And I just want to see more offensively in terms of the utilization and usage of Travis Hunter. And I'm not saying necessarily they even need to expand beyond 11 personnel regularly yet, but even in 11 personnel, they could be doing more to get him down the field. I don't think Liam Cohen's pass game has been as good as he would like so far from an X's and O's standpoint and all the other issues we talked about. So we're going to talk about defense, but first, got to remind y'all, football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. It's the best user experience and user interface in the business. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Next opportunity for football is Thursday night football. Told y'all earlier, I'm looking at JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba to pop off higher than 78.5 yards Thursday night football. And I think Marvin Harrison Jr. probably still continues to struggle a little bit. So I'm going with lower than 48.5 receiving yards for him. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code Duval Daily to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Duval Daily. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Must be 18 plus, 90 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. If you're supporting them, you are supporting us. So, defensively for Travis Hunter, I think he's been great in coverage. I know he allowed like 4 completions this week. Everything teams are completing on him right now. And he had 43 snaps on defense, I think 37 on offense, so 80 snaps. Everything teams are completing on him right now is pretty much when he's in off coverage, they're completing short underneath routes. You are not seeing teams try anything on the boundary down the field because they know he is right there. They're watching the tape the same as me, and they're seeing it. He is right there. Sticky as all get out, and you know if that ball's up in the air and he's in good position, which he has been on pretty much every route down the field, it's a better chance he's coming up with it than your guy in most situations. Now, obviously, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, maybe a little bit different story, but even against T. Higgins, he was locking it up, and he did a good job one-on-one with Nico Collins this week as well. The one time Nico really got him when it wasn't just off coverage, it was a slant against press, wasn't a physical jam up at the line, just, kind of a soft press. It was still good coverage. He was still in a good spot, but sometimes on an in-breaking route like that, Nico Collins is going to be able to catch the football. He's big, physical, fast, right? So I didn't have any problem with that. You did see the one missed tackle, which was a pretty big missed tackle. You want to see him make that tackle against Christian Kirk, which, again, that was not a very deep route. It was an in-breaking route. Again, not testing him on the boundary outside at all, which is cool to see. But in-breaking route, you want to see him make that tackle. Kirk breaks it and picks up a few more yards. Other than that, I mean, tackling has been really solid. I think he's attacking blocks well enough. I think he's filling the holes well enough. Like, he's reading the game properly, making the plays that he needs to make. And Christian Kirk, he had a good game. Travis Hunter was not the only Jaguars defender that Christian Kirk kind of left in the dust on a broken tackle. Foye Oluokun he got as well. So I think Travis Hunter, the coverage player, has been so freaking impressive. So impressive. You don't want to throw on him 10 yards down the field. On the outside, you just don't want to do it. And the in-breaking routes and stuff, they can continue to improve on that, but that's just, you have outside leverage. You're not in a position to really make that stuff as much. And then the underneath, when you're 7 yards off the line and they throw the ball 3 yards, I mean, that's going to be a complete pass based on the defense that you're in. So I think he's overall done a better job on defense than offense so far. I also think we could be saying a completely different story had they not just played the Texans, who have a very bad offense and a very good defense. I also think we might be singing a different tune had Trevor Lawrence put that ball out in front of him a little bit more week 1. Had he done that same thing in week 2, you might be talking about 2 touchdowns on the board for Travis Hunter. So I think circumstance against the Texans, they're a great defense. There's just no denying that. They're a very good defense. The Rams scored like 14 points in a win against them. The Buccaneers, I think, scored 20, something like that. And that was at the very last moment. So I think that the way the Jags played against the Texans offensively was disappointing. Not all that surprising, and they did leave some stuff on the board, with all the drops, and Trevor Lawrence had some missed throws and some poor pass pro in certain moments, and so And they didn't really start getting the run game going until a little bit later in the game as well, going back to mid zone, as Liam Cohen talked about. So I think that everything's going fine with Travis Hunter. Now, does he need to improve? I think he needs to probably offensively be a little bit more buttoned up in terms of just knowing everything, which is hard to do. He's playing both sides of the ball. Like, that's an incredible task for a young guy as a rookie, playing both sides. But that's what he was drafted to do. That's what he wanted to do. And that's what he wants to continue to do. So that's what they've got to do, is continue to work with him. And he's got to work on his own time to make sure he knows exactly what's going on offense all the time and grow in that regard. I really don't think he needs to improve on defense. He's playing that well. Make that one tackle, but I mean, he made several other impressive tackles throughout the game. So I think Travis Hunter is doing a very good job in this very small window that we've seen him play. 3 games. Didn't play much on defense in week 1. Has really played well on defense the last 2 weeks. When he's been throwing the ball on offense, I mean, he's usually making the play. He made an insane play with the ball in his hands against the Texans this week. One of the best displays of yak I've ever seen, leaving multiple defenders in the dust with some really impressive footwork and juke moves in space, picking up a huge, nice chunk of like 20 plus yards when it should have been probably tackled for like 5 yards. So I'm impressed with Travis Hunter. I think everybody that's worried about fantasy football, I think everybody that's worried about like, oh, the numbers aren't eye-popping yet. Well, it's not eye-popping on defense because nobody wants to throw at him down the field. And that's smart. It's not eye-popping on offense yet because, in my opinion, the Jaguars' passing offense has a long way to go at every level. So let's pump the brakes a little bit and let this kid work and watch him work, because I think it's exciting. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.